And we're back on file. File item 18. That's ACR 108. The clerk will read.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 108 by Assemblymember Mathis relative to Women's Military History Week.
Mr. Mathis, you may open on the resolution.
Mr. Speaker, members, today we are honor the day that women were granted the right to stand shoulder to shoulder with men in protecting and defending our great nation. 3 years ago, former Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta made the groundbreaking decision that overturned a 1994 Pentagon rule that restricted women from artillery, armor, and infantry units, among other combat roles. Even though, in reality, women have frequently found themselves in combat in Iraq and Afghanistan. Over the past 2 decades of conflict, women have served with valor in combat zones often under fire, but have been prevented from officially holding combat positions. Approximately 300,000 women in uniform have served in the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, earning more than 10,000 combat action badges and Bronze Stars, and at least 12 Bronze Stars with valor. Women have served in intelligence gathering as combat pilots, field artillery officers, chaplains, special operations, civil affairs officers, and even members of the ultra-secretive Delta Force. Women have served bravely in every major U.S. conflict since the American Revolution. Since the lift of the ban, 3 women have already made history by being the first to graduate from the United States Army Ranger School, the Army's premier combat leadership course, proving not only to themselves, but to the world that women can meet men's standards for combat. Our military exists to fight our nation's wars and to defend our Constitution and our freedoms. Opening up combat roles to women will only add to military excellence, not subtract from it. This decision has ensured that the mission will be met with the best qualified and most capable people, regardless of gender, while maintaining the same high standard of quality our military has set forth. Therefore, it is my honor and my privilege to introduce ACR 108, which recognizes women warriors by proclaiming the week of March 21st through March 27, 2016, as Women's Military History Week in California. We will acknowledge this progressive step forward that our country has made by breaking down the walls of gender exclusivity in our military and championing the achievements of women in our armed forces and their contributions to our country and freedom, past, present, and future. Members and Speaker, if you would open the first roll to co-authors, I ask for your aye votes.
We will do that when discussion has ceased. Thank you very much, Mr. Mathis. Ms. Grove, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I, too, rise briefly in support of this resolution, colleagues, as the first female veteran to serve on the State Assembly floor, and then 2 years later joined by my colleague, Ms. Melendez, and my colleague, Ms. Eggman, and I got permission to use their names personally on the floor from them, so I apologize for that, Mr. Speaker. And then to be able to stand here today with our colleagues on this floor, and I know later on my colleague from Tulare is going to be introducing some mighty women warriors that are the first in their positions to serve in the United States Armed Forces. So I just briefly rise in support of this resolution and ask for an aye vote.
Seeing no additional discussion on this item, Mr. Mathis, you may close if you wish.
First roll open for co-authors, please.
Thank you, sir. With that, the clerk will open the roll for co-authors. Members, this is co-authors on ACR 108. This is for co-authors members on ACR 108. The clerk will close the roll. There are 72 co-authors added on the resolution. Without objection, we may take a voice vote on the resolution. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. And Mr. Mathis, back to you for your guest introduction. Mr. Mathis will move to Mr. O'Donnell's desk for his special guest introduction related to the resolution. Mr. Mathis, you are recognized.
It is my privilege to have standing with me today some of our military's exceptional female leaders, of whom I'd like to acknowledge. Colonel Laura Yeager. Colonel Yeager's active military service began in May of 1986 after receiving her commission as second lieutenant as a distinguished military graduate from the Reserve Officer Training Corps and Branching Medical Service Corps. Colonel Yeager has served in many capacities, each one more impressive than the former. She has served as a medical platoon leader, aeromedical platoon leader, executive officer, and chief of operations, just to name a few. Colonel Yeager's most recent assignment was as the deputy commanding officer for the 40th Combat Aviation Brigade during its deployment in support of Operation New Dawn 2010 to 2011. She has been awarded countless decorations, including the prestigious Bronze Star Medal. Colonel Yeager currently serves as the Chief of Staff, Joint Staff for the California Military Department. California Army National Guard Staff Sergeant Rebecca Love. Staff Sergeant Rebecca Love enlisted in the California Army National Guard in 2003 as a combat medic and has acquired over 12 years of service. From 2009 to 10, she was deployed as the lead medic in the Kunar province of Afghanistan with the 40th Infantry Division Agribusiness Development Team, the state's first ADT. She is currently assigned to the Joint Force Headquarters here in Sacramento. Technical Sergeant Angela Cobra. Tech Sergeant Cobra is a logistics manager assigned to the 131st Parachute Squadron within the 129th Rescue Wing, California Air National Guard. In this role, Tech Sergeant Cobra is responsible for performing deployment, employment, and logistical command and control processes, as well as establishing and operating control centers. She also maintains a close relationship between operations, logistics, and support organizations to enhance support of combat missions. Tech Sergeant Cobra has deployed twice in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. Chaplain Captain Dana Durham. Captain Durham was directly commissioned in the California Army National Guard in 2008. In 2010 to 2011, as part of the 749th Combat Sustainment Support Battalion, she was deployed to Camp Adder, Iraq, where she supported, cared for, and prayed with over 2,000 service members. She was the first and has been the only female chaplain in the California National Guard to deploy in a combat zone. Captain Durham currently serves as the chaplain for the 1106 Theater Aviation Service Maintenance Group in Fresno. I want to thank this group of exceptional women who are with me today, who put a face to what we are celebrating. Thank you, and thank you for your continued service to our great country.